Good morning, friends. Happy Thursday. Popping in here really fast to kind of talk about what's coming up in the next week or so. Couple things. I shared yesterday about the Self Before Scroll Challenge, and I would love your feedback, what you want that to look like. Like if you want an accountability post, I mean, it's a self work before you scroll, so it doesn't really make sense to like have a tech related accountability. But perhaps that is what we need later in the day. Like it's just, this is how I showed up. This is how I touched my journey. So if you have 2 cents about that, a way that you would like to see that happen, drop me a comment. But that starts Monday, and it is very much a take it as you need it, make it what you want sort of challenge, okay? The only rule, there is one rule, and that is you don't pick up your phone and you don't get on tech, you don't scroll, you don't check into a Facebook group, you don't look at your email or any upcoming sales, you don't Amazon Prime in the first however many minutes you want to assign this, okay? And it can be a moving, breathing, evolving thing. Like maybe some days you're crazy busy and that's 2 minutes. Maybe some days you have more time to devote and that's awesome too. The point is, it's just getting into a routine of working on yourself and working on yourself before you log into other people's agendas, because that's what social media is. That is what the internet is. It is everyone's agendas. Everyone has an agenda, including myself. We all have agendas, and I really want you to front load your day for the rest of the month, maybe even the rest of next year. We're just gonna microsize this, okay? We're just gonna focus on the rest of December. Just putting on your own oxygen mask, and it helps us to recalibrate lots of different things in our life. It can help you just step into that version of yourself you want to be as a mom, as a wife, as a human. And excuse me, I found it to be, I just feel more grounded and centered and less rushed and reactive on the days I do it. And there's not like a time requirement, you know? So for me, I started 2 new personal development books in the last couple weeks. One is like a prayer challenge, and the other is just like a compilation of stories. So I'm only reading like 5 pages in the morning, but it really helps me feel good, and it helps me feel like I prioritized myself. And that initial decision just kind of like, it tends to domino into other great decisions throughout the day. And while my days haven't been perfect, I feel really good. And that's what I want for you. I want you to end the year feeling really good. December can be such a chaotic month. There's so many things that need our attention. There's so much hustle and bustle. And to start your day with intention, it can be a game changer. And you could even do this reverse wise. Like you could do this before you go to bed. Like you get off tech and maybe you read a little bit out of your book, or you pray or whatever. You make it yours. You know what you need. That's why I called it Self Before Scroll. And part of me has this internal battle about that. It's like, well, it sounds kind of selfish, but it's not that at all. It's about you putting on your own oxygen mask and you really kind of tapping into your own intuition. Like, what do I need? Okay. So if you're down, that's awesome. I've already started because I never ask you to do things that I haven't already done. And so I'm just a couple of days ahead of you, but this is something I'm a work in progress with as well. And you know what? If you forget and you get on your phone one day, it doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you have to start over. There's no running tab, okay? This is just your life. This is your journey, imperfect and messy, but it's something we get to be a work in progress on. And we are the ones who get to choose where we put our energy and what we're going to focus on, and what we focus on grows. So if you're in a season of this feels really overwhelming and there's too many things, if you're going to keep that thought on repeat, you're going to find proof of more of that. Versus instead, if you're like, I'm going to put on my own oxygen mask and I'm going to take 5, 10, 20 minutes every morning and I'm going to front load my day, see how that influences things, okay? Speaking of pivots and, allowing yourself to be a beginner in new things, I'm starting something fresh on Monday. Carla and I have been doing 9-week Control Freak, and I love that program. I've done it several times, but here's the secret, guys. You may have done something once upon a time that felt freaking amazing that no longer feels great. And that doesn't mean you failed, and it doesn't mean you're a quitter, and it means that there is nothing at all wrong with you. It just means that congratulations, you're a human and you're evolving and growing, and your body might need something different. So it's kind of interesting. Both of us are feeling the same way. So we're going to put that back on the shelf. I'm on week 6, I think, and maybe I'll pick week 6 back up in a couple months and I will continue where I left off. But for right now, starting on Monday, we're starting something different. I don't even know what that is. That's the beauty of BODi. There's so many things. Sometimes there's too many choices. So I'm going to spend the next couple days just trying on different programs and see what feels good. And I'm encouraging you to do that as well. If you are doing something that maybe you're not loving, it's okay. You have permission, not that you need it, but sometimes we have to have that little reminder to put it back on the shelf and try something different. You don't have to tell yourself a story. I think that at some point, a lot of us we've consumed the Kool-Aid, right? Where we think if we don't finish something A through Z, or if it doesn't look a certain way, the way we had thought in our head, that there's a failure there. And there is no failure. In fact, that is the win. I want you to challenge that thought of, look, it's proof I'm a quitter, or I'm not consistent, or I just can't do this, or home workouts don't work for me. None of those things are true. None of those things are true. We just have to pivot a bit, and we have to be open to listening to ourselves. You got to listen to yourself. You have to listen to your body. Your body is on your team. It really is. And so if something isn't feeling great, then you can put it back on the shelf and you don't have to create a story around it. Okay? You're not a failure. You're just an imperfect work in progress. And I'm super proud of you. I think that the willingness to do that, to say, you know what, this isn't fully aligned, or this doesn't feel super good, or it's not a match for the season of my life. It's also, it's a practice in learning to trust yourself. And sometimes that's really hard, to trust ourselves and to trust that intuition. Sometimes we're out of practice. So what a great opportunity we all have to revisit that as we end this year. We can end this year on a solid note. We can know that we put on our oxygen masks and we prioritize our journeys, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes a day. It does in fact compound. It does in fact compound. And if you want to transform your life, you want to change your story, you want to become a different version of yourself, it comes with those tiny micro choices, those tiny micro decisions that sometimes we are like, well, it's insignificant, doesn't really matter. We talk ourselves out of it, but I'm going to challenge you to talk yourself into it, okay? To listen to yourself and ask yourself, what do I actually need and what is in alignment? And I've been talking a lot about alignment lately, about it doesn't need to be something that you force. It doesn't have to be a checklist. I used to think it was a checklist. If I did this, 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 and this, then it would lead to my alignment. But the more me work I've been doing lately, I'm like, what if I just push everything off of the table, I put everything back on the bookshelf, and I start with a blank slate. And instead, I start to just pull out the things that feel good, the things that feel yummy, the movement that feels like there's nothing wrong with being pushed, with your workout being hard and challenging. It's not what that is, but does it feel good? Does it feel like you're doing the right thing, or does it feel like you're just like nails on a chalkboard, forcing yourself, you're super tired and it just doesn't feel right? Okay, so the more things that we can pull, that we can put on the table, not even like it has to be a ton of things, like maybe it's the self before scroll, and maybe it's 10 minutes of a walk, or it's you choosing to meditate. When those things that just feel good in this season, when you start to put those on the table and you show up to those things daily, you keep your promise, even if it's not fully 100%, but you still touch it, I feel like that is when the alignment will actually organically click into place. And that's what I want for myself right now, 100%. And I would love for you to go into your new year, to end this year and start your new year in an aligned place that came from a place of what feels right and what feels good, and just doing more of that. Yeah? Yeah. Great. So Monday, fresh opportunity to begin a bunch of things, you know, and you don't have to wait till Monday. You could start right now, whenever you're watching this, but that's my plan. So we're going to do the self before scroll challenge. I have uploaded some healthy recipes that's going to hit over the course of the next month. There's a fresh meal plan that has been put in both the BODi group and the Facebook group. So you can go find that, get some fresh ideas, some fresh inspo. You can always go to the BODi app. There's a gazillion, literal, technical term, gazillion new recipes. And they're family friendly, okay? And they don't even have to do with Shakeology. It's just like real food. How you can make it delicious, how you can make it simplified, Your journey doesn't need to be hard. It doesn't need to be hard. I think some of us get caught in this idea that it does. If it's not hard, then it's not working, but that's not true. The more we focus on the things that do feel good, that's when we find our alignment, and that's when the whole journey just kind of transforms and shifts. So on Monday, what do you need? What feels good? Do you want to go for more walks? Do you want to focus on yoga? Do you want to lift? There's a couple new lifting programs. Like, there's always so many cool things to choose from. And you can start something and you can give it a week. And if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean you're a quitter. It just means that you are a rock star at listening to yourself and doing what you need. And isn't that the whole point of this entire journey, right? It's about what we need and showing up as the best version of ourselves, not a perfect version of ourselves, but the best version of yourself in this moment, okay? So collect your wins, look for the good. If you need anything, please let me know. I'm always here cheering for you. I can't do it for you, but I am doing it alongside you. And I want you to feel awesome and proud and excited. And if you aren't feeling those things, you're just literally one decision away from making a shift that could change and pivot the entire freaking journey. So don't be afraid of that. Be excited for that. Be proud of the fact that you are a work in progress and you are evolving and you are learning to trust yourself and to do the next right thing. So stay tuned. I'll let you know what I'm going to do on Monday. I don't really know yet. That's kind of exciting. Okay. So in the meantime, I've got my unicorn juice. I am going to push play on a workout. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I'm just going to pull something up and see what feels good. And then we're going to do it. And I'm going to log it in the app and I'm going to write down my food today and I'm going to look for the fun and I'm going to look for the good. Yeah, that's how we're going to roll.